Andor Season 2, Episodes 7 to 9 may just be the best Star Wars I have ever seen, which is saying something. Since the ending of Andor Season 1, I have regarded the show as the best Star Wars project since The Empire Strikes Back. Even as someone who enjoys the prequels, loves 2 of the 3 sequel movies, and has liked most of the TV shows released by Lucasfilm, Andor has risen above these to sit as not only the highest-ranked Star Wars TV show but also the best story the franchise has ever told. Season 2, Act 2 only supports this. These 3 episodes of Andor Season 2 act somewhat as a conclusion, which may feel surprising given there are 3 more next week. Here, though, the increasing tension built in Andor Season 2, Acts 1 and 2 comes to a head. The Empire tightens its grip on Gorman, leading to conflict bred from propaganda, political manipulations, and dark fascism. As I have noted in my previous Andor reviews, Star Wars has never explored politics better, with Season 2, Act 3 adding massive heaps of action, heartbreak, espionage, and endlessly compelling characters to create the very best story Star Wars has to offer. Andor Season 2, Episodes 7 to 9 continue to perfectly explore morally complex politics. The Empire and Rebel Alliance reach a crossroads. The first thing I will continue to gush over with Andor Season 2 is how perfectly it explores complex political situations. The situation on Gorman has been building slowly for weeks, with us knowing why while some characters do not. This imbues the storyline in Episode 7 specifically with a sense of impending dread, as we know the Empire needs Gorman for something that only a select few characters are privy to. This continues the Empire's wave of propaganda to demonize the Gorman citizens across the galaxy, something even the worst Imperials, like Dedra and Cyril, are uncomfortable with. The exploration of how these 2 characters are handling such a tragedy, the Gorman massacre of Episode 8, is endlessly compelling. As I noted in my review for the first arc of Andor Season 2, the show depicts Imperials as humans too, though without losing sight of them as the bad guys. This morally complex storytelling is something I have always loved in big franchises, be it something akin to Andor like Star Wars, The Last Jedi, or even something like The Last of Us Part 2. Andor continues this trend of exploring politically complex situations, and it is all the better for it. Andor Season 2, Episodes 8 and 9 are perfect installments of Star Wars television. Thanks to effective build-up from the previous 7 episodes. Andor's political messaging is prevalent throughout Episodes 7, 8, and 9, but the latter 2 can also be described as a payoff. Andor has always been a slower-paced show, but when it kicks into high gear, it is as equally enthralling as its more deliberately paced moments. Andor Season 2, Episode 8 might just be the best the show has ever done, with the entry showcasing the machinations of the Empire to paint the Gormans in a bad light, the peaceful resistance of the planet's citizens, Cassion's assassination attempt, and the ensuing chaos once violence begins. The dread that permeated Episode 7 is found throughout the first half of Episode 8, too, with the Gorman people pushing back against the Empire. The ways in which this is depicted, from the united crowd chanting for Gore or the singing of the planet's national anthem, are incredibly effective. This makes it all the more heartbreaking when the Empire's plan to stoke violence kicks into gear. Peace very quickly devolves into conflict, with the Empire controlling the entire thing. The action, rather than being depicted as exciting and fantastic as Star Wars typically tends to do, is visceral and heartbreaking. Every death feels tragic as the Empire begins massacring a planet, positions it as a terrorist attack, and conveys a false image to the galaxy that the Gormans are simply violent thugs. The political implications, combined with the explosions and blaster bolts, make Episode 8 an incredibly sad but no less captivating watch. The ending montage that sees a speech accompanied by a beautiful musical score and shots of the massacre is hauntingly stunning, and Episode 9 only continues this. Andor Season 2, Episode 9 switches locations to Coruscant. Mon Mothma cannot stand for the Empire's cruelty any longer and speaks out in the Senate, leading Cassian to extract her from the planet. Where Episode 8 was a politically charged war scene, Episode 9 is a politically charged espionage story. The tension of the entire situation is felt as the rebels scramble to get Mon out safely, with her speech and the aftermath being just as compelling to watch as the prior episode was. Easily, Andor Season 2, Episodes 8 and 9 solidify themselves as the best Star Wars can be. Andor Season 2, Episodes 7 to 9 showcase how great the show's cast is. On the side of good and evil. Given the high intensity of Episodes 7, 8, and 9, the members of Andor Season 2's cast bring their absolute A-games. The standout is arguably Kyle Soller as Cyril Korn. Cyril has been mostly a laughingstock for a lot of Andor's runtime, yet Soller gets the ability to imbue him with an intense rage in Episode 8, specifically, a rage born from betrayal and remorse. It adds a lot of depth to Cyril as a character, making him a tragic villain in the best way. Denise Gough matches him as Dedra Meero, with both creating two excellent villains. Genevieve O'Reilly shines in Andor Season 2, Episode 9, providing one of the most rousing speeches in the franchise's history and proving why Mon Mothma is a true hero of Star Wars Rebel Alliance. One of the few criticisms I had of the prior Season 2 arcs was that Andor himself had little to do. This changes here, with Cassian being front and center. Like his co-stars, Diego Luna is excellent as Cassian, often providing perfect reactions without overacting. The final shot of Episode 8 is excellent from Luna. Andor is so different from other Star Wars projects but still fits within the wider universe. Andor's Star Wars connections are great. Kanan Jarrus from Star Wars Rebels, 2014, holding his blue lightsaber next to the poster for Andor Season 1, 2022. Finally, I want to mention how well Andor Season 2 fits within the wider Star Wars timeline. One of the things I have praised the most about Andor is how different it is from the rest of the franchise. This remains true, but it does not mean it does not connect well with other stories. Andor Season 2, Episode 9, for example, blends right in with an episode of the animated Star Wars Rebels. The blend is seamless for those familiar with Rebels like me, as well as those who have not seen the animated show. Another element of Episodes 7 to 9 that blends perfectly with wider elements of the franchise is Bix's final speech. Bix leaving so that Cassian can focus on the rebellion explains his situation in Rogue One in a way that is extremely saddening, especially knowing the two will never meet again. Then there is the final moment involving K2SO. Although Andor changes the character's origin story from the comic books, it works masterfully to move the story into its final act and solidify the arc as the best contained story Star Wars has ever told.